crisis began 2 weeks prior, on an off-world colony, when 6 Nexus 6 combat models staged a bloody mutiny. After seizing a transstellar shuttle and neutralizing the crew, the group made an illegal entry into Earth. Their objective was clear: the Tyrell Corporation. The replicants attempted to infiltrate the headquarters, but were repelled by security. 2 were eliminated in the encounter. The remaining 4 vanished into the urban sprawl of the city. In the aftermath, the Tyrell Corporation and the LAPD launched a screening process. Every new employee at the corporation was subjected to the Voight-Kampff test, a sophisticated biometric scan designed to detect the lack of empathy in synthetic subjects. The task of overseeing these screenings fell to Detective Dave Holden. Holden's final interview was with a subject identified as Leon Kowalski, an employee in the waste disposal department. The screening became a crime scene. When the Voight-Kampff questions began to trigger Leon's emotional instability, the subject bypassed the test entirely. With Holden critically wounded and the suspects still at large, Captain Harry Bryant was forced to escalate the investigation. He needed someone trained to identify and retire subjects who had already proven they could outmaneuver the department's standard protocols. He needed the man who had walked away from the job months earlier. Not much is known about Deckard's life prior to the 2019 Nexus 6 case. Most LAPD records were lost during the 2022 blackout. Available information indicates he was previously married to Rick Deckard and was known to be a capable pianist. His years as a Blade Runner appear to have taken a psychological toll. Deckard is described as quiet, withdrawn, and cynical, a man familiar with the demands of the job and affected by it. He left the force after retiring a Nexus 3 model. By that point, replicants had become increasingly difficult to distinguish from humans, and the nature of the work had begun to affect him.
Because I'd had a belly full of killing. But then I'd rather be a killer than a victim. Let me tell you about my mother.
Following the shooting of Detective Holden, Deckard was reactivated by Captain Harry Bryant to handle the Nexus 6 case. Bryant's assessment of Deckard is clear. He is considered one of the department's best Blade Runners, an experienced operator with a record of getting results.
It's not good enough. Not good as you. I need you, Dex. This is a bad one. The worst yet. I need the old Blade Runner. I need your magic.
This is how Deckard is regarded within the department, a trusted specialist who can handle high-risk targets. But when reviewing the events of the Nexus 6 case, that reputation does not always align with field performance.
I thought you were supposed to be good.
The following is a breakdown of the Nexus 6 investigation, based on available footage and recorded events recovered from the Tyrell archives, provided by the Wallace Corporation. The initial step in the investigation was to question Eldon Tyrell, CEO and founder of the Tyrell Corporation, regarding the escaped Nexus 6 models. Tyrell confirmed that Nexus 6 units were prone to instability once they began developing complex emotional responses. To mitigate this, they were engineered with a fixed operational lifespan of 4 years.
We began to recognize in them strange obsession. After all, they are emotionally inexperienced with only a few years in which to store up the experiences which you and I take for granted.
He also disclosed a recent development. The psychological strain could be reduced through the use of implanted memories, a method already applied to a prototype model, the Nexus 7. The prototype was based on Tyrell's niece, Rachel.
I'm Rachel.
The subject was provided with an artificial personal history, including childhood memories and physical mementos, designed to stabilize emotional responses. The result was a subject capable of passing as human under most conditions, and nearly able to pass a standard Voight-Kampff test.
If we gift them with the past, we create a cushion or pillow for their emotions, and consequently we can control them better.
Memories. You're talking about memories.
With this information, Deckard proceeded to his first lead, recorded interview footage of Leon Kowalski, conducted by Detective Holden.
1187 Hunter Master.
That's the hotel.
What?
Where I live.
Nice place?
Yeah, sure, I guess. That part of the test?
No, just warming up, that's all.
Uncertain whether the address provided by Leon was legitimate, Deckard chose to investigate the location, accompanied by Gaff. At the site, he recovered a fragment of a snake scale from the bathtub, along with a collection of personal photographs concealed within a cupboard.
Stop. Enhance 5719. Track 45 left. Stop.
A digital scan of one of the photographs revealed a woman in a bathtub, later identified as Zora. Forensic analysis of the scale identified it as belonging to an artificial snake through a serial number.
Finest quality, superior workmanship. There is a maker serial number 9906947 XB71. Interesting.
Tracing the serial number led Deckard to the manufacturer, Abdul Ben Hassan, a dealer in artificial exotic animals, who identified the buyer as Taffy Lewis, owner of a nightclub in Chinatown. Deckard proceeded to the nightclub to question Lewis regarding the identity of the woman in the photograph. At this point, the investigation began to lose momentum.
Taffy, you ever buy snakes from the Egyptian, Taffy?
All the time, pal.
You ever see this girl, huh?
Never seen her buzz off.
Your license is in order, pal.
Hey, Louis. The man is dry. Give him one in the house.
Lewis offered to bribe Deckard with a drink. Deckard accepted and ceased with the questioning. The investigation would likely have stalled at this stage, if not for a chance observation. Deckard identified Zora, performing on stage under the alias Miss Salome.
Excuse me, Miss Salome, can I talk to you for a minute? I'm from the American Federation of Variety.
Gaining access to her dressing room under false pretenses, Deckard attempted to question the subject. Zora identified the deception, incapacitated Deckard, and fled the scene. Following a brief pursuit through Chinatown, Deckard was able to retire the subject. Deckard was later met by Bryant and Gaff at the scene, where he was informed that the Nexus 7 prototype, Rachel, had gone missing and was now classified as a fugitive. Deckard was instructed to locate and retire the subject. From this point onward, investigative progress slowed considerably. According to recovered LA Metro Street footage from the Chinatown district, Deckard was later ambushed by Leon and was brutally attacked.
Wake up! Time to die.
He survived the encounter due to a surprise intervention from Rachel.
Body identified with Tyrell as a 25-year-old male Caucasian. Name Sebastian, J.F. Sebastian. Address Bradbury Apartment, 9th Sector, NF 46751. I want you to go down there.
Deckard subsequently received a report confirming the deaths of Eldon Tyrell and genetic engineer J.F. Sebastian at the Tyrell penthouse. He was assigned by Bryant to investigate Sebastian's residence at the Bradbury building. At the location, Deckard was ambushed by Pris. Following a brief struggle, he was able to retire the subject. Roy Batty returned to the scene shortly after. Deckard was pursued through the building, with the encounter concluding on the rooftop.
Quite an experience to live in fear, isn't it? That's what it is to be a slave. Time to die.
Where Batty ultimately expired. His 4-year shelf life was up. A review of the investigative timeline shows that Deckard successfully followed initial evidence. The snake scale and Leon's photographs led to the identification and retirement of Zora. However, he did not independently locate the remaining replicants. He was ambushed by Leon and required intervention from Rachel. The lead connecting to Sebastian was provided by Captain Bryant. He did not identify or prevent Roy Batty's infiltration of the Tyrell Corporation, which resulted in the deaths of Eldon Tyrell and J.F. Sebastian. In summary, Deckard only managed to track down 1 replicant, and successfully retired 2 out of the 4 Nexus 6 models. The demise of the remaining 2 were not by his actions, and the fate of Rachel, the fugitive Nexus 7, was never reported. These findings do not fully support Captain Bryant's assessment of Rick Deckard as one of the LAPD's best Blade Runners.
Not good enough. I'll go to you. I need you, Dex. This is a bad one. The worst yet. I need the old Blade Runner. I need your magic.
Rick Deckard and the fugitive prototype, Rachel, vanished from the grid in late 2019. Despite an intensive investigation into the retirement of the Nexus 6 cell, the trail went cold almost immediately. The last person known to have seen Deckard was Detective Eduardo Gaff, shortly after the expiration of the replicant leader, Roy Batty.
Done a man's job, sir. I guess you're through, huh?
Finished.
It's too bad she won't live. But then again, who does?
Throughout the case, Gaff acted as more than just a partner. He was a shadow. He had a habit of appearing at key locations and leaving behind small origami figures, symbols that seemed to mock Deckard's most private thoughts. In Bryant's office, he used a paper chicken to highlight Deckard's initial reluctance to take the case. At Leon's apartment, he hinted at Deckard's forbidden attraction to Rachel, before the Blade Runner had even admitted it to himself. This is the most famous piece of evidence. By leaving a unicorn at Deckard's apartment, Gaff alluded to a recurring dream, suggesting that Deckard's internal private thoughts were actually accessible data. Gaff has always known more than he let on, but he's remained tight-lipped for decades. He retired from the LAPD in 2039 and currently resides in a senior care facility. In 2049, Officer K reopened the case while investigating a related discovery. He tracked down the elderly Gaff to find out what really happened back in 2019. While the Wallace Corporation has restricted much of that interview, one specific comment from Gaff stands out.
It wasn't long for this world. Something in his eyes.
In the world of synthetic biology, the most common way to identify a replicant is the retinal glow, a faint amber reflection in the eyes that isn't found in humans. Deckard never showed this glow during his official duties. However, when we look closer at his personal history, specifically security footage from his apartment, we see a brief, unexplained anomaly when he's speaking with Rachel. The theory that Deckard was a replicant isn't just based on his eyes, it's based on his history. We know that the Tyrell Corporation used implanted memories to stabilize their prototypes.
Implants? Those aren't your memories, they're somebody else's. They're
If Gaff could read those memories, it would explain how he knew about the unicorn. The smoking gun, however, is a photograph recovered from Deckard's apartment. At first glance, this is a standard photo of Rick and his ex-wife, Iran. But when we compare it to the childhood photo belonging to the Nexus 7, Rachel, the similarities are impossible to ignore. The lighting, the angle, and the architectural layout are nearly identical. It doesn't look like a coincidence. It looks like these memories were created in the same lab using the same templates. The most chilling piece of testimony wouldn't surface until 30 years later. In 2049, Neander Wallace, the industrialist who resurrected the Tyrell Corporation's archives, confronted an aged Deckard with a theory that reframes the entire 2019 investigation. Wallace suggested that the chance meeting between the Blade Runner and the prototype was actually a precisely engineered event, a mathematical certainty designed by Eldon Tyrell himself.
Did it never occur to you that's why you were summoned in the first place? Designed to do nothing short of fall for her right then and there. All to make that single, perfect specimen. That is, if you were designed. Love? Or mathematical precision?
We are left with a series of forensic inconsistencies that refuse to align. On one side, we have the human theory, a weary detective, a victim of a cruel system, who found a spark of humanity in a synthetic woman. In this version, the eye glow is a lighting glitch, and the unicorn was a lucky guess by a cryptic partner who knew Deckard was a dreamer.
Too bad she won't live. But then again, who does?
On the other, the Nexus 7 theory, a controlled experiment, a subject whose memories were manufactured, whose fate was programmed.
Indulge me.
And whose partner, Gaff, was actually his handler, reading his data stream in real time. If Deckard is human, his story is one of ultimate rebellion against a corporate machine. If he is a replicant, his story is the ultimate tragedy, a machine programmed to believe it was free, while following a script written before it was even born. The LAPD files remain inconclusive. The Tyrell archives are destroyed, and the only man who knows the truth is living in exile, still haunted by a past that might never have happened. The question remains, was Rick Deckard the hunter or the prize?